After the Bexar County jury found murder suspect Gabriel Moreno not guilty of killing Pee Wee Menchaca, District Attorney-elect Joe Gonzales promised a full investigation into the prosecutor's conduct during the botched case. The lead prosecutor, Matthew Ludowig, was on his way out. Ludowig had prosecuted investigative journalist Denise McVea for assault back in 2014, even though she had provided the DA's office with a video showing she was the victim of assault, felony theft, and property fraud. After the embarrassing outcome in the barbecue murder case, Ludowig quickly left the Bexar County DA's office. "He learned the difference between an operator and a pawn," said McVea. "Really, only a tiny fraction of participants in a criminal conspiracy can expect to come out on top, and he got suckered." On the other hand, Allstate's go-to lawyer Albert M. Gutierrez had chalked up yet another improbable win. He stood portentously in the courthouse hallway, reveling in the toadying attention of the press and his colleagues. The Moreno case constituted another stepping stone on his path to local legal stardom. He was fast becoming known as the San Antonio lawyer who could win any case. After 24 years as an attorney, including civil work and as a prosecutor in Laredo, Gutierrez takes remarkable verdicts in stride, the San Antonio Express-News gushed. While Gutierrez basked in the limelight, the district attorney's office and the judge faced a shaken, incredulous public. Something had gone terribly wrong. Faced with widespread public shock, Bexar County officials struggled to explain the barbecue murder acquittal in light of the overwhelming evidence against the defendant. For his part, Joe Gonzales blustered in press conferences about the Brady Rule and the Michael Morton Act, two laws that require prosecutors to turn over favorable evidence to the defendant. Ludowig and County Court 12-Judge Scott Roberts had ignored McVea's motions mentioning those same two laws, as they repeatedly violated due process protections in the malicious prosecution against her in 2014. At the time, Joe Gonzales was her defense attorney. She had paid Gonzales $3,500 for pretrial representation in that case, and he had never mentioned those rules to her, no matter how many times she asked. She had to find them herself after she had fired him. Listen to him now, McVea thought. The presiding judge, Rangel, also took a stab at easing public disquiet over the shocking verdict. Juries were less trusting of police and prosecutors, Rangel suggested. They are questioning the credibility of witnesses more, he surmised. The Moreno jury probably wanted to see more hard evidence like fingerprints and bloody clothes, he supposed. Maybe the state should have brought more charges just in case the murder charge didn't stick, he proposed. Of course, neither the judge nor the DA mentioned the very real possibility that Moreno's jury had been tampered with. It wasn't anything new to McVea. She had been watching outrageous and disturbing verdicts coming out of the Bexar County Courthouse ever since two jurors forced a verdict in the Allstate case in 2013. By the time the barbecue murder came along, McVea had already determined that she could never sit on a Bexar County jury. Her conscience forbade it. As Pee Wee's devastated family filed out of the courthouse, local lawyer Rahim Amir Mamori tentatively approached a smug Gutierrez, who was still holding court in the courthouse hallway. Mamori had attended the trial, heard all the testimony, and weighed all of the evidence. He couldn't believe what he had just witnessed. None of it made sense. He stared at Allstate's old boxing gloves lawyer, who McVea had reported to the bar for document tampering, illegal backdoor conferencing, and numerous other violations of rule and law as far back as 2010. "How can you explain this?" Mamori asked Gutierrez. "How did this happen?" McVea, an award-winning investigative journalist and anti-corruption advocate, says she knows exactly how it happened. She had been documenting corruption in San Antonio for more than a decade, and seen firsthand how compromised local institutions had become. She stated bluntly, "It happened because organized white-collar criminals, a great many of whom belong to America's unaccountable lawyer class, have successfully compromised many of San Antonio's local institutions. And that includes the police, the media, the DA's office, the courts, and yes, the jury system." And what happened to Gabriel Moreno? 6 months after the not guilty verdict, he was arrested again after he pointed a gun at a woman's head and assaulted her. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison for that assault. Stay tuned for more information. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All will out.